Alright, so this is my review of the episode 13 of Bleach anime. It's got a lot of differences compared to the manga. Not sure why. So instead of sending Kon after Rukia, Ichigo is just running around and randomly runs back into Kon after leaving him from Uryu, and Kon like berates him for that. And Ichigo interrupts him and asks about his sisters. And Kon says they're home, which isn't right. And then Ichigo runs off saying he can find Uryu. So this is already very, very, very different. And now we get back, like I was saying in the chapter 41 review, we get back to the fucking like ending of chapter 40 here after the fucking episode 12's ending jumped ahead. And we see Orihime seeing the hollow and then trying to get Tatsuki and Chizuru to leave while they're talking about the glass and stuff. Orihime's reaction to this, I think, is very natural. The seeds that the hollow uses to attack just make a green mark rather than like piercing the person and leaving them bleeding. It's reminiscent to Rukia being hit with exploding bugs and shit and nothing happening. It's just a shitty form of censorship. It's just stupid, and I don't know why they thought it was necessary. Instead of choking Orihime, Chizuru just grabs her wrist and holds her wrist. She doesn't even punch her, she just holds her wrist. And she only has a few veins on her arm, so that was toned down as well. There's a random filler scene of Rukia running for 5 seconds. And then we get a close-up of the hollow's eye, similar to the manga, but just in a different place. Then the veins on Chizuru's arm increase drastically. It goes from like 7 to like fucking 20 or something. For cutting out a lot of the comedy in this episode and overall in the anime adaptation of Bleach, the scene where Tatsuki bites the hollow was fucking funny. They do like an intentionally comedic reaction from the hollow where like its face like goes crazy for a couple seconds, and then the voice actor just starts screaming and screeching. It was like very humorous. She got really high pitched, and it leaves you wondering what their goal is with this adaptation. Tatsuki kicks Orihime, and that's why Orihime's kneeling on the ground puking. The manga didn't show this well at all. It was just like Orihime was standing, and then Tatsuki was standing, and then Orihime was puking. I did not see the kick at all. Seeing the release of Shunshin Rika in motion was cool, I guess. Again, they cut out the scene where Hime smashes the female one, trying to keep it somewhat serious, but then they keep her reaction to the instructions where her eyes are spinning, so they're not completely cutting out all of the comedic scenes, they're only cutting out some of them. That just makes it weird. Not clear what they're wanting to do with this adaptation at all. The kill on the hollow was pretty faithful. It just got severed in half and disappeared. I don't really like the way the hollows dissolve when they're killed, but whatever. In the anime. But the overall scene of, Orihime and Tatsuki getting beat up and Orihime being choked and her face being shoved in the ground and shit was just far less brutal. The law really toned down, so you kind of don't get that same sense of suspense, in my opinion. And then when Kari and Ishin go to find Chad, Yuzu is there for no fucking reason. She just has like one line. When Ishin tears his shirt off, he's noticeably more buff and built in the anime than he ever was in the manga. And then Kon is spying on them from on top of a power pole and just leaps away, so that's very different. And then Orihime just wakes up and they completely skip the gag where she hits Chad in the fucking face, and that's just stupid. because they were trying to rush through this shit so they can keep their fucking like 4-chapter adaptation an episode, which I don't understand at all. It's so stupid. As far as I know, they just wanted to like blitz through the fucking beginning stuff to get to the Soul Society shit, but it's just, that's such a stupid idea, because as soon as you catch up, you're fucked. And yeah, they sped through this dialogue to finish with the scene where Ichigo's facing off with Uryu. Very lazy, sloppy as fuck as an adaptation. Because Uryu just shows up, and before, you know, anyone can really say anything, Ruki's just like, oh, it's you. And then Uryu is like, yes, it's me, Rukia, this is the first time we've met. I am going to kill all these hollows, and even if Ichigo falls, then I will sacrifice myself to kill all the hollows. And it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? He just goes on a fucking monologue for no reason. Horrible, horrible, horrible adaptation for this episode. For this ending. This is awful. And then they have Ichigo kill the hollow at the very end that Uryu killed for no reason other than that he's the protagonist. I guess they thought it'd be more hype. It's just stupid. It's very, very, very bad. I cannot recommend this episode. This episode is like fine with all the voice acting and stuff for the Orihime stuff, just censored, but then it just gets horrible. So I can't recommend this episode. It's a complete write-off. Don't watch episode 13. Just stick to the manga for this section of the story.